What is going on, everybody? It is Prodigy Freebird here with Heel Turns and High Spots here, bringing you guys another video. And today we are talking about Night 2 of WrestleMania 38, guys. We're going to be going over my thoughts about the show. If you guys missed my review of Part 1 of WrestleMania 38, that is up on the channel right now. If you guys are watching this after the fact, it will be as a video right here. And we will be diving into my thoughts on the show. It definitely was not better than Night 1. Let me just start off by saying that. I thought WWE did, as I said, actually, I said this yesterday verbatim in my review. I said, I thought this was the best WrestleMania since 31. And that was yesterday. This was a totally different night, total opposite thoughts. I had a friend come over and watch this this card with me, and at like 10:30 he dipped because it said he was bored. And I mean, I felt the same way up until that Edge versus AJ Styles match. I was bored, man, and I didn't even think about like I should be watching the show. Actually, after the Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn match, I really kind of checked out, and I had to go back before I'm recording this, and I had to go back and rewatch it just to take notes because that's how out of it I was. And I mean, as far as the Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn, man, what a comedy act. We'll get to it then. We did not see Rock today, so I don't know with that story how that story is going to unfold. I do hope to be doing a review of Monday Night Raw, so this is probably going to be only like a 40-minute video. I hope to watch Monday Night Raw tonight and give you guys a review tomorrow on it. And so with that being said, let's get into it, and we'll talk about my thoughts regarding the show. All the links you will need are down below in the description below. Go check us out, guys. If you guys do enjoy this video, click a like on it and hit that subscribe button, as we will be covering AEW weekly, as well as some indie wrestling shows and WWE for pay-per-views. And that's just right now as we are small. After we grow a little bit, we will do more shows. So WrestleMania 38 kicked off, and you heard that iconic Triple H song. It's time to play the game. And Triple H walks out with a suit on, a business casual suit. And he kicked off the show. He made his way into the ring. He was really taking his time getting to the ring. Just kind of taking it all in, as, this would be like the last time, quote unquote, Triple H would be making this entrance in front of WrestleMania. So he was really taking his time, just soaking in the atmosphere. And very, very cool moment. He basically just makes his way to the ring. He hops into the ring. He just says, "Welcome to WrestleMania." One of the workers at WWE then handed Triple H his own boots, and Triple H then left his boots into the ring, signifying his in-ring career has come to an end. Which we knew that already. He went on ESPN with Stephen A. Smith and, called that a career for him. So we knew that, but this was just a great way to open up Mania, as it really, got the fans to, have closure with Triple H. And, we really didn't get that with Undertaker. I mean, we did. We did get the Hall of Fame with Undertaker, so that was nice. But obviously with Triple H, when he had the event, we didn't get a match like AJ versus the Undertaker. But obviously we had COVID, so nobody could go see that match. But it is what it is. Undertaker, got back and got inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, as you guys know, as most people know. And but again, back to Triple H. This was just an overall great thing to do to start the show. The opening match. So I am not going to cover this whole show, let me just say, by getting into it. I don't feel I need to cover this whole show, as we like covering pro wrestling here on this channel, and we did not get a lot of it in Night 2. I was actually talking to, I was on Twitter yesterday, and I saw something about how WWE changed wrestling. WWE did not change wrestling, guys. AEW changed wrestling. WWE just put on a good show. They haven't put on a good show like this in a while. So you can't say they're changing wrestling because they only had one night of good wrestling, and to me, night 2 was really not a good night of pro wrestling, guys. But as I said, let's get into it. So we start off with the Raw Tag Team Championship match here. The opening match saw RK Bros, Randy Orton, and Matt Riddle successfully retain the Raw Tag Team Championships in a triple threat match against the Street Profits and Alpha Academy. I'm not really going to talk about this match, guys, but Gable Steveson interrupted a post-match toast with RK Bro and the Street Profits. The Street Profits and RK Bro kind of invited Gable Steveson in. If you don't know, Gable Steveson was a NCAA Division I wrestler for Minnesota, and he won a championship and then retired in ring from, or not in ring, but he retired his wrestling career and now is transferring to WWE to be the next big thing in WWE. So, Gable Steveson was invited by RK Bro and the Street Profits into the ring. And they kind of, they gave him a drink, it was just a nice, cool moment for Gable Steveson. And in this moment, Gable Steveson, Otis and Chad Gable, went into the ring and, kind of was like, what are you doing here? You're a rookie, go back to the sidelines, like that sort of thing, my bad. And the two-time NCAA Division I athlete then suplexed Chad Gable. I'm going to give this segment a 6 out of 10. As I said, I thought this match went a little long for my liking, especially it just wasn't really entertaining. So that's why I kind of gave this match a 6 out of 10 as I did. Now, the Bobby Lashley Omos match was next. I am not even going to cover this match, guys. I will tell you that Lashley won, and which ended, Omos's big dominance run he's been on. But this was just a terrible match. I'm literally going to give this match like a 4 out of 10, guys. Like, this was just horrible. And I will say that I don't know why on Monday Night Raw did they knock Omos off his feet. That was a big selling point in this match, and I feel like they should have saved that for WrestleMania because you're only 1 week away. I really didn't see the need why you needed Bobby Lashley to go out there and knock an Omos off his feet and waste the selling of a match. I really wasn't going to care about this match anyway. Omos is Omos. He's really just Great Khali 2.0. He really doesn't do anything special for me. He just is a big man. Nothing special there. So, as we move on, the only thing I want to say about the Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn match is it was just a complete and utter comedy show. If you guys are a fan of the Jackass movies, kind of the same thing to expect here in this match. Knoxville used a taser in this match. He used a bowling ball. He even used a giant mouse trap, among other items. And eventually he pins Sami Zayn and celebrated with the other Jackass cribs in the ring. And I will give props. The only thing I do want to touch on here is I will give props to Sami Zayn in this match for the amount of punishment that Johnny Knoxville put him through. In the match, he had like one of those bionic legs on a stool, and Sami Zayn obviously got kicked in the nuts, and so Sami Zayn took a lot of punishment in this match. So you got to give props to Sami Zayn here for giving the best of a worse situation. And it really wasn't a bad comedic match. It's just I really don't want to see this comedic type of match at WrestleMania, guys. WrestleMania is wrestling. It's not supposed to be these comedic acts. We want actual wrestling on the show. So I just really did not see the need for this match. Unlike, Logan Paul yesterday, unlike Pat McAfee in this WrestleMania, or this night, I mean, Johnny Knoxville is not, an athletic kind of guy. I mean, it's just comedy. So unlike Pat McAfee or Logan Paul, where, they were actually being athletic in the match and it actually came off good on TV, this match really didn't do that much for me. Some might have looked at it as a comedic. I really didn't. I really wasn't one of those people. Um, but at the end of it, Johnny Knoxville did pin Sami Zayn. After that match, we had the the fatal four-way for the women's tag team championships. Sasha Banks and Naomi, Natalya and Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley challenged Queen Zelina and Carmella for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. And nobody cares about the tag team championships, guys. I'm going to cut to the chase. There was not even enough tag teams in that women's division to have a tag team division in this women's division. And I just think it's pointless, guys. They got to merge the divisions already. And these tag teams are really just spawning out of nowhere. I mean, Sasha Banks and Naomi, Natalya and Shayna Baszler, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, those really do not speak to a tag team to me. So I really, again, guys, I mean, I just don't think I need WWE gives me no reason to cover this match. But I will tell you guys that Banks and Naomi scored the pinfall on Carmella for the titles. So now we get into some actual wrestling program, guys. I mean, we had one, the triple threat really wasn't that bad wrestling wise, but the three matches in between were just dreadful. So we get to some new actual wrestling, guys, and as you guys know, Edge, or you see Edge, he comes out. Edge has his new theme song, and what made this so great is there was like this pyramid in the center of the ramp, right in front of the Wrestlemania sign, and the platform was on fire. And in the middle of the platform, there was actually a throne like a king would have, and but before you see Edge, he rises kind of like Cody Rhodes did last night, and he rises, and then you hear the other side by Alter Bridge. And I put a note in, and it's great to see like the Alter Bridge song. So obviously it's not Metal Ingus. And me and Charlie were actually talking about this before we did our first show. When we were doing our practice sessions, it came up that like Metal Ingus is so iconic that it's a face song. It's not a song that you don't want to have with Edge being a heel, because the whole crowd just loves that song, and it's only going to make them cheer for Edge. So what they did is they went out and got the other side, which is still like an iconic song, because it still sounds like Alter Bridge. It still sounds like an Edge iconic song, like an Edge song that he would have as his entrance music. And I mean, Metal Ingus is obviously by the same band, but it just feels new and it feels fresh. And so that is good. I do want to note that if you notice when the bell rung, AJ had a cut right below his right eye. Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer newsletter sent out a tweet last night after saying that the cut was from AJ's pyro before the match. All he said was simply it was just due to a pyro incident. So that's all the information I have on that. But the match starts. Edge and AJ have a brief stare down. And the bell rings. AJ immediately took it to Edge. In fact, he didn't even let Edge even get out of the corner. The ref breaks it up. Personally, this is when I first noticed the cut. He was moving on. AJ and Edge then tie up in the middle of the ring again. Edge escapes, and both of them reset. This was a very slow, kind of building match, and it just added to the intensity of it. Both AJ and Edge were phenomenal in this match. And we'll get into it. So then proceeds with another tie-up. AJ hits a couple of arm drags, and Edge counters, leaving AJ on his back. Later in the match, AJ evades a spear, and AJ almost had the look of, oh no, like it was like this, oh, like I can't believe I evaded, that spear. All he did was moved out of the way, but it just, like, Edge was like, yeah, like I escaped that, and Edge was like, how did you escape that? And it almost looked to me. I took it as like a look of respect from AJ to from Edge to AJ and AJ to Edge. AJ went outside. AJ allowed was on the apron, and he hit a knee to the jaw, sending Edge into the steel steps. Edge proceeded to throw Edge's head into the steel steps a couple of times, and then throws him into the ring. He goes for a phenomenal forearm, and Edge gets both knees up. Takes it to Edge's ribs, or takes it to Edge takes it to AJ's ribs in the corner, and then onto the ropes. Edge throws AJ into the corner again, and it looks like his head hit the LED ring post. So Styles even went through a beating in this match. He got cut from the pyro, and then he got his head. He probably got a concussion from getting set into the ring post. But AJ did continue the match, though, so that makes me think AJ is going to be fine if they didn't stop the match. Edge went for a pin. Styles kicked out. Edge puts AJ into a abdominal stretch. AJ counters with a hip toss and then a dragon screw on Edge. Edge hits a shoulder breaker to the same shoulder Edge separated at the Rumble, which was a nice little callback there. Edge starts kicking AJ's shoulder, followed by the knees to AJ's chest. AJ threw a punch, and both men dropped instantly. AJ pops his own shoulder back into place here. AJ was running full speed into the corner, and Edge evades, making Styles hit his head on the second turnbuckle. Edge picks up AJ up, and Styles counters and suplexes Edge right into the turnbuckle. Later in the match, Edge counters a Styles clash, locks in an STF. AJ puts his hands on the ropes. Then AJ hit a pretty nice DDT where he leapt over the rope and then connected. He was like on the apron, and he leapt over the rope and then connected under the DDT. So that was a pretty nice spot there from AJ's. Edge hit a springboard powerbomb, and Styles kicked out at 2. AJ hits a suplex on Edge onto the ring apron. Both men were on the ground here. Both roll in to the ring at a count of 9. Then Styles hits a 450, a springboard 450, in fact. Edge kicks out at 2. Edge counters the phenomenal forearm. Styles hits this Styles clash. Edge kicks out at 2. All of a sudden, AJ Styles kind of like went up to the top rope, and or not the top rope, the apron, and all of a sudden the camera cuts back to the side of AJ Styles, and all you see is Damian Priest just watching Styles on the apron. So obviously this takes Styles' attention off Edge, and AJ then jumps up for the phenomenal forearm, and Edge hits a mid-air spear on Edge. It looked pretty good for a 3 count. After the match, Damian Priest went into the ring, and he and Edge kind of had this like sinister, methodical, evil laugh, like, you know, just plug in your favorite evil villain, and that's kind of what that looked like. And they stood tall into the ring. I'm gonna give this segment an 8 out of 10. Very nice, couple of nice spots in this match, guys, and I would have to assume that after this, Edge is gonna. It's rumored that Edge is gonna have his own faction, so maybe it's obviously Damian Priest is probably gonna be here in with Edge. We'll probably see that tonight on Raw, and I can't wait to see who else they add. You know, maybe it's Elias. Hopefully not, but maybe it is. Maybe it's, you know, Dijak. And yeah, let me know down below in the comments who you guys think would be good in that role. We go to the New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. I kid you not, guys. This was like a 2-minute match. Kingston and Woods did pay tribute to Big E by wearing his gear inspired by his championship win, which was cool. Holland pinned Xavier Woods following the Northern Grit on that. So then we get to Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory, guys. And man, this from the start was a banger. Vince McMahon walks out, grabs the mic, says, "Allow me to introduce you to a future WWE World Champion." So guys, so folks, Austin Theory is gonna be a world champion one day. WWE will make him a championship after they're not just gonna have Vince McMahon say that and then not make him a world champion. So believe me, Austin Theory will be a world champion of WWE. Mark my words. Someone can timestamp this. It's gonna happen. He enters the ring to take a selfie in the ring with McMahon, and then you start hearing Seven Nation Army playing. The camera then pans to the Titantron, and you just see Pat McAfee's name on the star. And as soon as that happened, the crowd started singing along. And you guys will. I'll tell you guys that this helped McAfee over to get over in this match. Even in the ring, the crowd was singing it, and it only helped kind of presentate McAfee in a way that he had this big aura. Honestly, it felt the same way as if you go to like a big sporting event, like a hockey game, a baseball game, a football game, and you just are getting hype with the crowd. The crowd's chanting. It felt exactly one of those big fight feels here. So McAfee was getting hyped with the song, walking down to the ramp, and he actually he grabbed a football. Somebody threw him a football, and he punted it into the crowd. That was cool. McMahon sat next to the commentator's desk. The match starts. McAfee started taking it to Austin Theory here. A couple rights. Austin takes over. McAfee then hits a spinning elbow on Austin. McAfee hits a Hurricane Rana on Austin. Very nice here from Pat McAfee. I knew that McAfee was good. I don't know how many of you guys remember, but Pat McAfee actually wrestled Adam Cole, believe it or not, in a NXT Takeover match. That was a good match. So I knew that McAfee would be able to hang in the middle of the ring. And I also knew that that Pat McAfee was practicing on his off time. He actually has a ring in his house, so that was pretty cool. Austin Theory then takes control after a minute, so the crowd started singing Seven Nations Army. Theory hit a snap suplex on Pat. Pat then suplexed Austin Theory. Austin then rolls to the apron. McAfee sends Austin to the announce desk from a drop kick. He then grabs a headset and starts commentating his own match. Michael Cole goes, "What's up, partner?" McAfee says he is beating the hell out of Austin Theory. Tim and Sally McAfee are watching their son beat the hell out of a D-bag. McAfee pours ice all over Austin. He then bangs Austin's head off the announce table and then throws Austin into the ring. And meanwhile, when he was doing that, he was all commentating during this. So that was a very cool moment there for McAfee. McAfee then goes up top and takes a little too long because he was listening to the crowd chant for him. And he went for a swanton bomb. Austin countered. He then picked up McAfee and slammed Pat into the ground for a 2 count. Austin then goes up to the ring, and he does the same thing as McAfee. This time, instead of the crowd chanting for Seven Nations Army, they were actually chanting boo to Austin Theory. McAfee then jumps up on the apron, and he hits Austin Theory with a superplex, but Austin kicked out, and he countered. So Pat did a backflip off the apron and off the ring post, and Austin Theory couldn't believe it. Then Pat McAfee then leaps to the top rope, this is when he delivered the suplex to Theory. Theory kicked out at 2. McAfee then reversed a town down roll up. 8 towns down, and he rolled up Austin for a 3 count. This was a great match. The crowd was just amazing in this match. 10 out of 10 for me. The atmosphere is kind of what did it, at least for me personally. It just, when the whole crowd is chanting Seven Nation Army, which is a song that is used at, football games for, to pump up the crowd. This was a great spot, and I liked it how, it just added to that big fight feel, and it made you feel that McAfee was a true competitor in that ring. And, anytime Pat McAfee wants to come on a show, be my guest, man. The guy has done phenomenal work in this ring. And I mean, the more time he gets there, the more exposure he has, only better to get to. The only better he's going to get. So, we'll see what happens. Maybe they bring McAfee back. Maybe he doesn't. Obviously he has his own stuff to do with the podcast. But interesting to see there. After the match, McAfee was saying something to McMahon, and McMahon was teasing, taking off his suit coat. He then finally took the coat off along with his shirt, and he had a tank top underneath. McMahon is in amazing shape, no secret there. We all knew that. In fact, I did see McAfee actually tweeted something out on Sunday morning where Vince squatted like 1,000 pounds. And I just thought that was crazy. I mean, he's 78 years old and he's squatting 1,000 pounds. So, Vince gets into the ring. A ref comes down, and before he rings the bell, Austin hits McAfee from behind, and then the ref rings the bell. McAfee gets clotheslined from Vince and sent into the turnbuckle. Vince clotheslined him again, sends him into the other turnbuckle. Pat gets up. Then Austin Theory trips Pat McAfee and drags McAfee into the ring post groin first. And there was no disqualification here, which the commentator Michael Cole actually commented on this. That that should be a disqualification in this type of match. If it was a normal match, it would have been a disqualification, but the fact that you're not going to disqualify Vince McMahon, so that was the reason there. So Vince starts lightly kicking him, and then he picks up a football, starts teasing, kicking it into the crowd, and then he really just kicks McAfee, the football in McAfee's face, and then Vince pins McAfee. So Vince is the sole reason for Pat's 50-50 booking at Mania. So then Vince says, cut the music. He lets Austin Theory go to all four corners, taking the booze. Austin Theory's music plays, and then you hear Stone Cold Steve Austin, the iconic glass break, and you see him walk down the ramp. He immediately gets into Vince's face. Theory then went after Austin. Austin delivered one of the best looking stunners to Stone Cold Steve Austin that Stone Cold Steve Austin has ever done. It was very nice. After this, Stone Cold was in the ring with Vince, and Vince was telling Austin to calm down. Austin grabs 2 beers. Austin gets 2 beers. He then brings Pat McAfee back into the ring. They both crack their beers. I'm sorry, I'm a little early. I am a little early here. So Vince was in the ring here just with Austin, and they both grab 2 beers. Vince takes a sip, and then both of them kind of start chugging it. Austin then delivers one of the worst looking stunners to Vince McMahon. Yeah, you heard me right, guys. WrestleMania 38 in 2022, Austin stunned Vincent Kennedy McMahon at WrestleMania. Pretty cool moment. Horrible stunner, but I mean, very cool moment. Anytime you get Stone Cold and Vince McMahon in the ring, it's just a nice callback. Stone Cold then grabs 4 more beers, tells Pat to get into the ring. He opens them both drinks them. Then Stone Cold gets 4 more. McAfee opens them, and as he's opening them, Austin stuns Pat McAfee, and then Austin pours beer all over McAfee. And then Pat rolled out of the ring, and then on the camera, you actually seen Stone Cold Steve Austin kind of toss a beer to Pat McAfee, and then you see Pat McAfee kind of laying down, like the announce table's here. Pat was here, and so Pat was here. The announce table's here, and he was, fountaining the beer in his mouth. So pretty cool moment there. And then Austin takes the 2 beers up the ramp, and that was the night. That was that segment. So this was a great segment for me. Both of anything. This whole Pat McAfee segment was good, actually. From the match, the promo, each thing was good. The only thing I would say was you probably shouldn't be stunning Vince McMahon, but hey, it is what it is. It was a WrestleMania moment. It was, it's Austin's last time at WrestleMania, so, as a in-ring competitor. So, very cool moment there. Nothing to complain about there from me. So now we get to the main event. Winner take all for the WWE and Universal title. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar here. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, the bell rings, and he starts the match off by taking his gloves off, and then he takes it to Roman Reigns in the corner here. He drives Roman Reigns into the corner, then drives him into the other corner. Lesnar hits 3 belly-to-bellies, then clothesline Reigns out of the ring. Heyman then suckered Lesnar in by the barricade, which led to Roman to spear Brock through the barricade. Lesnar gets in at a 9 count. He gets hit with Lesnar gets hit from a spear from Roman. Lesnar kicks out at 2. Roman hits 2 Superman punches. Lesnar hits 5 German suplexes to Romans, one after the other. Brock goes to the F5, but Roman Reigns dives. But Roman dives into the corner and hits Lesnar with a 3rd Superman punch. Roman Reigns then goes for another spear. Lesnar then picked Reigns up without any issue and picked Reigns up and kicked out at 2. Brock then gets up. Roman counters an F5 from Lesnar, drives Lesnar into the official who is in the corner. Reigns then low blows Lesnar. Roman hits Lesnar with the title. Lesnar kicks out at 2 again. Roman then takes Lesnar's legs out and pins Brock for a 2 count again. Roman speared Brock, and Brock locked in the Kimura lock for 45 seconds it was. And I saw some photos of this on Twitter. So after the 45-second mark, Reign gets help from Heyman to get to the ropes, and as the official is kind of telling them 1, 2, counting for the disqualification. I think Lesnar kind of had his arm in the Kimura, and then he was kind of rocking back and forth. So I don't know how hard he had that locked in, but I did see some pictures after the match that did not look good. If you just look it up, Roman Reigns' injury, you will see them on the internet. It just didn't look good, and hopefully he's all right. I can't wait to see what happens here in the next 10 minutes when Raw kicks off. So this match was a 6 out of 10 for me. Nothing that we haven't got here in their previous matches. It kind of fell flat to me, and I know a lot of people in the community feel the same way about that. So after the match, obviously Roman is now the WWE Universal Champion. Fireworks to go off, and that was WrestleMania. I am also going to give WrestleMania 6 out of 10 as a whole. Night 2 of WrestleMania, that is a 6 out of 10. I think I gave night 1 as an 8 out of 10. So if you guys have yet to go see that match, go watch that one. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching this, guys. We hope to see you tomorrow for our Monday Night Raw review. We're gonna go over the post show of the most watched Raw of the year and the most sought after Raw. We get Veer Mahan tonight. It's followed by Tommaso Ciampa probably, and we'll see what happens. So overall, not a bad night of wrestling. Not a good night by any means though. I did like, obviously these 3 matches. By far the best thing on the show, though, was Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the show. I would love to hear them down below in the comments. If you guys would, click a like on the video. Let us know that you guys support us, and click that subscribe button. I will see you guys tomorrow for the Monday Night Raw review. And other than that, guys, you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow.